What's up? I'm back. About to finish this Thor. Well, probably not finish. Probably another video after this one. But I left off saying Thor was pretty much being birthed into Shakar. He was learning about Shakar's ways and about, pretty much everything he was about to go through. And I would say that's pretty much how you could see our light transferring into our body from our parents to, into this world. Like before we get here, we get this information through light, and we know a lot of. We pretty much, that information is what we will become. Honestly, um, you can look at it as DNA, or you can look at it as your life path, or whatever. All that information is pretty much what you'll end up being and what you'll become like. The black goddess, what was her name? Her name was Valkyrie. Pretty much, um, while she was in a chaotic being, she got the Grand Master or the Grand Wizard, his best champion. She got her Hulk, and then she defeated Thor, and pretty much got them to fight for him. And pretty much the Grand Master, which would be like the elites today, or anybody with like corporations, using us for distractions and all these different things to pretty much um, what I was saying. They used her. They used her for their benefit. Like they used the black woman chaos. They used her power for his benefit and pretty much her self destruction. They wouldn't. I mean, they might have gave her money, but it was just money to go drink and just to help her forget about the shit that she was trying to forget about anyways. Like she was on a downfall, and I talked about how Thor's gonna have to help her. Well, they were pretty much gonna help each other rise again. And yeah, I mean, this movie got the white and black interracial shit in it, but it's not so much as they gonna date, but it's there enough where your mind thinks about it. Trust me. Thor wanted to go back to Asgard, and the Grandmaster pretty much laughed at him, and it was like, once you come here, there's no leaving. Everybody's an unwilling participant. Pretty much, nobody wants to fall. Nobody wants to be their lower selves. Nobody wants to go to hell, but you have to go to it. Like, I mean, like eventually you'll fall into it, because I mean it's a cycle. Like after being up for so long, you fall, and then that's a part of the whole process of life, just falling and rising again. And um, yeah, you pretty much an unwilling participant to the cycle. That's the cycle of bondage that I think either we trying to get away from, or we'll always be in. I won't know until we leave out of this bitch. But only way you could leave is through fighting for your freedom. Pretty much, you had to be his champion that he had there on the place. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much, you gotta, just like on Israel, you gotta fight for your freedom. If you don't beat the big dog, which would be like the government, the elites, bro, you really won't ever even know what freedom is. You really won't know your history. You won't learn a lot about yourself until you fight for what's yours. And to go back, well, this is really how the movie just went. They went back to Asgard when Thor is in hell, and it's just transferring, showing how the kingdom was being transferred over time. Pretty much Hela was confused on why nobody remembered her, and I told you how pretty much she was mad the whole time that she was there, because she thinking she gonna get a warm welcome and some shit like that. And pretty much Odin lied and about how he achieved his kingdom, and Odin got comfortable after so long and wanted to become peaceful, so he buried his demons. Like, he got rid of his daughter, and he got rid of the lie. I mean, he got rid of all his history and made it seem like he was a peaceful king this whole time, and he got, his shit through, diplomacy and shit like that. And that's what America would want us to believe now. But check out Absolutely Unsure. I think the last podcast I talk about, we've been in 139 wars or some shit like that, and we've been in how many years we've been around? Out of I think 229 years we've been in war, like 200 years. I know we only been out of war like 20 years out of the 200. However many years we've been around, but yeah. And that's just to go, like, they try to make it seem like we are peaceful, and like if we want to go through and learn shit and want to get laws changed, we got to go through courts and go through all this. But that's never how America earned his stripes and his power. So what makes you think you're gonna get your power like that? And that's pretty much what Hitler was mad about. Cause I mean, he lied about lied about the past. Like it's like American ancestors coming back to hunt them because they lied about how they got the shit, and the ancestors want they just glorification. Like think about if Hitler was successful or whatever, and his people pretty much just got down, pushed down the line, and then one of his kids was be like Hitler was a peaceful man. People would be like, what you mean Hitler was a peaceful man? Man, we some bulldogs, nigga. We they'll rather stick to their beliefs at their core. A lot of evil people wouldn't want to be changed about how they look. They like who they are. They like, but I'm off topic. I knew that was going to happen though, so it is what it is. Got comfortable. We wanted to bury his demons. Yeah, Hella knew that the most powerful thing in Odin Kingdom was the eternal flame. That was the first thing she went to go get out of his. I talked about in the last video, out of his little armory room, or where he hides all the shit from the universe that's important. And she was saying all this shit fake, none of this shit real. And then she found the eternal flame, and she was like, well, this is the most powerful thing. And then, like I said, the eternal flame is the soul. Soul is the most powerful thing that we have. And she pretty much awakened her past soldiers. What she did was, first she knocked down the roof and showed the history. Then she went inside, or down inside the kingdom, or broke the floor to unleash her old people. And I wasn't thinking about that then, but if you think about it now, it's like those are the Titans, and she rewoke them up using the soul, or the eternal flame. And yeah, I mean, we are the Titans, and she literally woke us up and shit like that. And woke up our souls to fight for her and to fight for the cause, and she will be the universe type shit. But they call her Hitler because, like I said, they're gonna make the woman seem bad all the time. And I'll show you how they do it again in another part of this movie. Yep, she awakens her army. Loki tries to adapt, going back to the hell. Loki tries to adapt to the Grandmaster ways. He instead of facing his sister, he rather instead of facing his demon, he'd rather stay on that place, because I mean, pretty much that place is built for him. It's a bunch of trickery, savagery. Even Thor said that later on. Thor found Valkyrie he ended up finding out she was from Asgard, and she was a part of the army called Valkyrie, and it was an all-woman army that protected the throne or whatever. She wouldn't help because she was still hopeless and shit like that, because she really felt like it was no escaping that place or whatever. And it's like, think of your soul being trapped here. Like, if you keep dying and waking up here, and you be like, bro, why am I still coming back to this sorrow and this like bondage and shit? It's like, you'll feel eventually like you have no chance of really freeing your soul. And that's how she was. She was hopeless. She was drunken. And we see these movies as one life cycle, but we should look past that. These are gods that's been alive for a long time. They even hinted at with the Grandmaster. He didn't want to say how old he was, because that's how you know the Grandmaster was really a woman, because he didn't want to say how old he was. But it's the little shit that they do. Hulk damn near had to kill Thor before he had to realize Thor had to realize the true power inside of him was inside of him and not his hammer. Like, Thor had to go through a lot on this planet before he realized his true powers. Like, he was so lost without his hammer. He was still confident, but he was like, damn, I don't got my hammer. Like, he was still trying to figure out how to live without his hammer. And Thor was going to have to defeat Hulk so he can get Banner to wake back up, because Hulk was this god that had to find balance, and pretty much Thor was this god that had to find confidence, because Hulk was just unstoppable. He was just this god that was just enraged of destruction, and he had to find his lower self, his balance, his empathetic self. And like I said, Thor had to connect with his true self. And this is right around when Hulk said Hulk is a raging fire, Thor is a smoldering fire. And he talking about the soul, because Thor was smoldering because he was about to wake up. Like he had all the potential flames to start a big fire, but he wasn't there yet. He was still trying to find it. Versus Hulk, he just raging forest fire that ain't nobody stopping type shit, and that's really the soul. Like I talk about how they give multiple aspects of people rising and falling in movies all the time, and Hulk wasn't necessarily falling, but he was trying to trust himself. He was trying to trust his true God self because, like he said, he thought Hulk was gonna take over and Banner was gonna never come back. But we'll get into that more. While he was saving Asgard, while Idris Elba, what his name was, Hellman or he something. I ain't about to get stuck on it. He was saving the Asgardians, and he gave Thor a vision, or we seen it as a vision, like they was talking right side by side. But you could look at it as more as like a dream or like a vision that people normally get. Where, like he said earlier, he had a dream about Ragnarok getting destroyed, but now he was trying to get a vision on how to get back home, to get back to Asgard, and he told him to go through this portal or whatever, and that was pretty much his next mission, was to get back home, and he had to find out how, because he didn't know how. Nobody really knew how, but he got a vision from the heavens or whatever, and Idris Elba Black, of course, and he the one that can see into the future. He can see on almost everything. So it shows where they want to give us our credit, but then don't want to give us everything. But Banner woke up pretty much in hell, and his heart really couldn't take it because the planet was meant to stress him out. And it was like, that's like when the Bible say that when the hearts of man won't last when they see the truth or whatever, it's because they've been conditioned to be such a way, and Hulk was conditioned to be stress-free and not really trusting himself and shit like that. So being on that planet really fucked him up. And he felt that, like I said, he felt like the God version of him was just gonna take over and never let himself come back to him. The Banner version of him, the wiser version you would say, because he was a scientist and shit like that. But Hulk was wise in his own ways. Just don't sleep on it. But yeah, they was even worshiping the Hulk. Like they were worshiping because he was a fighter and they was in a capitalistic hell. But Hulk was really a god. Hulk is really a god, and that went to show it even more. Like you could worship some shit and they want this nigga to go fight for him, and it's like a whole other shit. But I ain't gonna get into it. But Valkyrie had ended up getting touched by Loki, and Loki made her mad and made her remember pretty much everything that she was trying to forget. And she decided to get revenge instead of, forgetting. She was like, man, if anything, I'm going to die eventually. Like, if anything, I could fight for my peace. Because, she felt like the girl hold her and all these different other things. And it was like only a matter of time before she had to do it herself. And that's what she did. And pretty much the only way back to Asgard was through the devil's anus, and that's pretty much what they called it. The only way back to heaven or through Asgard was through the devil's anus. And the devil's anus is, like I said, all these different portals are just pretty much the tube or the womb, the birth canal. That's what it is, and they call it the devil's anus because they always disrespecting a woman. So Valkyrie, Thor, Loki, all these people got to go back through this devil's anus or the woman's birth canal to get back to God and or to Asgard. And it's just like I said, they always have dirty foreplay. But yeah, I think that's a good place to end it before I go back. Yeah. The only way, before I make my next video, but the only way to get back to heaven is through hell. Like, the only way when you're falling, you have to go all the way through your downfall. You have to figure everything out. You have to go through rock bottom, and you have to literally go through everything you gotta go through before you can get back to heaven. And Thor, that's the damn birth canal, but they want to make it seem bad, but it is what it is.